Hi, this is Hank Hanegraaff, president of the Christian Research Institute and host of the Hank Unplugged podcast with another Hank Unplugged short. I was reading the Wall Street Journal this morning and realized that while I was sleeping, the deceptively named Women's Health Protection Act, note those words, it's actually H.R. 3755, it actually passed in the U.S. House of Representatives. This is a horrendous piece of legislation which allows for sex selection abortion. It allows for the abortion of preborn children with genetic proclivities towards Down syndrome. And it allows for abortions up to the very moment of birth. Imagine that. To put it bluntly, H.R. 3755 is the most draconian pro-death legislation, I think, in the history of humanity. Something unimaginable until relatively recent history. A bill that is not just being proposed, but a bill that has actually been passed in the United States of America's House of Representatives. And as horrific as its mandates is what I've often referred to as the language crisis that threatens to undo Western civilization. I say that because the bill is not specifically a quote-unquote Women's Health Protection Act. Rather, it's intended to protect the pro-abortion perspective of, quote, all people with the capacity for pregnancy. So the language has shifted from women's health to the supposed health of birthing people, of cis-gender women, of transgender men, of non-binary individuals, of those who identify with a different gender, and of course others. In other words, pregnancy is no longer the province of biological women. And this perspective is not only a perspective of this particular bill passed in the U.S. House of Representatives, but this is the perspective of our U.S. Justice Department that refers to any individual who becomes pregnant, or the CDC that renders COVID vaccinations safe for pregnant people, and the White House that now has supplanted the phrase pregnant women with the phrase birthing people. As such, U.S. agencies now seem absolutely bent on liberating humanity from the confines of biological borders. It's not enough to open our southern border to the unvetted and unvaccinated, but we're now using language to redefine the borders of human sexuality. Something, by the way, that Darwin attempted to do when he opined that the average mental power in men is most certainly above that of women, and that whether we're talking about deep thought, reason, or even imagination. What we have done, make no mistake about it, is sacrifice truth on the altar of subjectivism. Ethics and morals and language are no longer determined on the basis of objective standards, but rather by the size and strength of the latest lobby group or legislative group. And with no objective reference point, societal norms are being rapidly, right in front of our eyes, rapidly reduced to mere matters of preference. So I was thinking about this morning. The words of Abraham Kuyper came back to me. I memorized him a long time ago. He was the former prime minister of the Netherlands before the Netherlands became woke. And he said, when principles that run against your deepest convictions begin to win the day, then battle is your calling, and peace has become sin. You must, at the price of dearest peace, lay your convictions bare before friend and enemy alike, and do it with all the fire of your faith. I hope you will join me in doing just that. Thanks for tuning in.